team like Kyrie and KD, or the Lake Show with King James and AD. Wish I could match him up with the bad boys from the 80s, but no black and white, I need that in HD. HenDawgz.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy HenDawgz, and we back to it. You know how we do it. I got a new video for y'all, man. Shout out to whoever suggested this Thinking Basketball YouTube channel. Shout out to the person that suggested it, and shout out to whoever's behind it, because I was going through a bunch of videos and I like them a lot, man. I think these videos, reacting to these videos, is great for my channel. Because if y'all don't really understand, what my goal is for the channel, my goal is to be entertaining, to be fun, but also informative. Basketball is what I've been doing my whole life. I've been playing since I was 5 years old. I've played varsity basketball. I've played Division I basketball. I've played professionally. So I know the game, but I also like to have fun with it too. But I'm like, how can I become informative, as well? And I think this channel is perfect. This Thinking Basketball channel is perfect. So this video, y'all saw the title, but the video is how Kevin Durant and DeMar DeRozan are winning with the mid-range. And I love this. I love that title because I love the mid-range shot as well. I'm a guy that when I play, I still use that shot. I'm not one of them guys that only shoot threes or only land the ball up. I like to use the mid-range shot. I feel like it's a whole another part of your game that you can use. If you don't use the mid-range game, then you're pretty much eliminating a whole level of basketball that you're not even using, that you could be using. So let's get into this video. I like Kevin Durant and I like DeMar DeRozan. They're two of my favorite players in the league. So I'm excited for this video, man. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video if you like this video, and write something in the comments. Write some other videos that y'all want me to react to too, because as y'all can see, I do a lot of the old school basketball, the Magic Johnsons, the Michael Jordans, the Larry Birds, but I like these videos too because it's 2022. I want to still get some up-to-date basketball on the channel as well. So write some other videos y'all want me to react to, man. But before we start, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that button, man. I'm trying to get the 10K subscribers. Once I hit 10K, I'll be giving out a gift card to one of my lucky subscribers. Specifically somebody that comment a lot though. That's probably who I'm gonna get that gift card to. But let's get into this video, man. We got how Kevin Durant and DeMar DeRozan are winning with the mid-range. Let's get it.
Despite tearing his Achilles tendon and missing the entire 2020 season, Kevin Durant continues to play at an MVP level thanks to one critical, all-important skill: his shooting.
That's one thing I was gonna say too. Before KD got hurt this year, both of these guys were top 3, top 5, in the MVP race. These are two players playing at the best of their careers right now. So that's something to think about, when we're going through this. They're playing at an extreme level right now, especially DeMar DeRozan. So I shout out to DeMar, man. We gotta give him his flowers, because when he left Toronto, things looked a little shaky. But he didn't kind of turn it back around in Chicago. He didn't kind of turn it back around. He definitely turned it back around in Chicago. So shout out to DeMar, man.
Specifically, his mid-range shooting, which has steadily improved over the years and is now at video game levels and carries some hidden value that isn't captured by traditional stats. More on that in a minute. Durant is in the midst of arguably the best mid-range shooting season since 1997, which was the first year this sort of shooting data was tracked. The data in that first year or two is notoriously wonky, and since 1999, only 2 players have been 12 percentage points ahead of league average on their 2-point shots outside of 10 feet. KD is currently shooting 53% on those shots, which is 13.3 percentage points ahead of the league. Since the average half-court possession in 2022 is worth just under a point, a 53% 2-point shot is like getting a typical possession from the best half-court offense in the league. And that's the crazy thing about Durant's mid-range. It just feels like he can manufacture these looks whenever he wants because of that crazy high release on his shot.
And I feel like he's just playing basketball. people try to make basketball harder than what it is. And, analytics, drives that whole shoot a 3 or a layup, like the best percentage shot. But it's like, we're making basketball harder than what it is, man. Just play basketball. Just play. And I feel like that's what KD do. That's what DeMar DeRozan do. They just play basketball. They're not out there just thinking about what's the most high percentage shot I can take right now. It's like, no, just get to where you can go, do shots that you work on, and good shit gonna happen.
It's obviously not completely true, but his variety of entry points produces incredibly high volume and efficiency on these mid-range jimmies. If he has room, KD just gets to his spots, and those are the easiest mid-range daggers for him because there's no one bothering his setup or his release. A really long defender has him here, but it doesn't matter because once that hesitation creates airspace, he can rise, fire, and stick it in the vault.
Split hack.
Here's another ISO against a big defender, and Durant uses a little hop to step back, and his feet are facing the sideline, but he's great at quickly squaring that lead shoulder, and that's actually good defense. He's just too big.
And too good.
One option for opponents is to swipe as Durant brings it up into his shot, and another option is to get up into his airspace as he's releasing it, which disrupts his rhythm a little bit. Because if he's allowed to bounce into his motion and comfortably dip, there's not much a defender can do once he brings it up into that second part of his shot. This looks like a highly contested jumper, but it's entirely in rhythm, and KD is aiming for this spot on the floor, which almost makes it a practice shot despite two nearby.
And he's 7 foot. Cade Cunningham and I don't know who that is right there. They're both 6'8", 6'7". Like, I don't really know how tall exactly they are, but they're not 7 foot. KD is legit 7 foot. So sometimes it don't really matter who's in his face, who's like crowding him. Like, it don't matter. When you Kevin Durant, you know who I am. You know what he said. You know who he is. Like, when he get to a certain spot, like those elbow spots, like it really don't matter who's guarding him. Because he's 7 foot.
We know he can post up and go over either shoulder with a bit of a fadeaway, which seems especially unfair considering Chewbacca couldn't block his shot, and we know he has that one-legged Dirk move as well. But he also gets into these shots off of movement. This is a curl with one dribble into space, and that's too easy for Durant. This one's off a little backdoor cut, and it's the same situation we saw in transition. Looking for that sweet spot off one big dribble, and even lengthy defenders can't close that distance.
It doesn't
Kevin's
matter.
been flowing off this kind of screen into a catch and shoot for years, and it's hard to recover when he gets just a little room like that. Durant isn't the only one crushing the mid-range this year. DeMar DeRozan is having a monster season there too. DeMar is only a 28% three-point shooter, so he can't drain long twos like Durant, but DeRozan is white hot on slightly shorter mid-rangers. He's at
I feel like for DeRozan, it's his footwork. Like, he has some of the best footwork that I've seen in the NBA since Kobe. I gotta throw my Kobe shit in there, but DeRozan's footwork is crazy, man. Like, I honestly think that that's what gets him like to where he can he's not that great of a three-point shooter, but the fact that he can get to where he wants to and make it look very fluidly, that's why he's able to get all those mid-range shots. And he got to knock him down too. And he knocks him down
between 10 and 20 feet,
Ooh.
And he's shooting an insane 57% from 10 to 15 feet away. He's only taken 100 shots from there, but no one has ever crossed the 55% mark with at least 150 attempts since 1997. So DeMar is setting an historic pace from the heart of the mid-range. He can get to that foul line area frequently with his handle and athletic package, and he's also sturdy enough to take contact from strong wings and still elevate over a number of defenders.
True too. He got crazy handles too.
Because he's not a big three-point threat, you'll see teams go under his screens, but that only helps him operate in that foul line area where he's deadly. DeMar has that second three-peat Jordan package going, spinning into a right shoulder fadeaway, and he can get to that exact same move off the left shoulder too.
Oh my God.
And check out his footwork on these.
The footwork
on that right foot during the spin, which helps rotate the hips and square him in the air.
He and his Kobe
It's not
bag.
identical to Jordan's spin move, but it is a close relative, and if you squint a little bit, you might think you're watching a 90s Bulls game instead of one in 2022.
I don't know about all that.
Heck,
shout out to
DeMar
DeRozan,
even uses
though.
a little face-up pump fake sometimes to freeze his defenders, and older fans might remember MJ using this same kind of move at times. Jordan even threw in a little sidestep hop on his step back occasionally, and DeMar also goes to a horizontal hop on his step back, although he prefers taking a big hop step to the right in order to create extra space for a little fadeaway.
That's tough.
When the Bulls space the floor for him to attack, DeRozan can sidestep into that open space because of the shooters around him. This works with Zach LaVine on the floor, where both players can still operate in their comfort zones. Remember, LaVine's slashing for twos or splashing threes off movement, as discussed earlier this year. When Zach heads to the bench, DeRozan naturally does more, and his scoring volume actually surpasses Durant's when James Harden is off the floor, although KD does maintain his efficiency edge over DeMar. Another benefit of spacing around DeRozan like this is that teams today can't naturally double team these high post areas. Defenses are set up to clog driving lanes, but most will gladly surrender a single covered 15-footer, yet getting below that foul line is pretty high efficiency for DeMar, especially at the end of games. Note how many of these come in the clutch against a single defender. That's just ice cold. And this is the hidden value of these mid-range assassins. As tight games wind down, it becomes harder to score. For instance, the league shoots 45% from the floor in general, but that drops to under 42% in the final 2 minutes of a 3-point game. So having players who can self-generate comfortable looks in those spots is more efficient than the raw numbers would suggest. Additionally, in the final minute or two of a game, the value of a three-pointer often dissipates. If you trail by one in the waning moments, there's little value in the extra point gain from making a 3 versus a 2. These situations won't make a team 6 or 8 wins better, but over the course of a season, they could swing a few close games, and that's been the case for Durant and DeRozan this year. The Nets are plus 41 per 100 possessions in Durant's 57 clutch minutes. That's using the traditional definition of a 5-point game in the final 5 minutes. And the Bulls are plus 15 per 100 in DeRozan's 42 minutes. Let's use a more fluid definition from play-by-play stats. In so-called high-leverage situations with the game close in the fourth quarter, Durant is 15 of 30 on his mid-range shots, and DeRozan is a scorching 12 for 14.
12 for 14?
So, they're doing it with slightly different styles, but both Kevin Durant and DeMar DeRozan are winning with the mid-range, and yes, that's according to the analytics too. Remember, no reliable stat ever said the mid-range was inefficient. They just said the mid-range was inefficient for weak shooters. If you like content like this and want more, check out patreon.com/.
I'm about to start doing way more of these thinking basketball videos. I think these are super great for me, and it's going to be great for y'all too, because y'all going to be able to have my insight. Y'all going to be able to see how I feel about these different little things. So I think it's a win-win for everybody, man. But I appreciate y'all watching, man. I appreciate it. I don't know how many times I can say that. Like, this is therapy for me. This is fun for me. So the fact that y'all are rocking with it, the fact that I got a support system that's actually enjoying what I'm doing, like, I cannot ask for nothing better, man. So thank y'all. Like this video if you like this video, and write something in the comments. Write what other videos y'all want me to react to. But I appreciate y'all like always. We out.